Just gone 10:30 this Monday morning. Simon's with me, so too is Martin and Neil. Martin, we're talking about Pochettino. Pre-match, what do you make of his comments pre-match? For me, pre-match on winning titles, is that how you should be judged? For me, that's not the way to judge a coaching staff. It's about being competitive and winning. But there are too many factors that influence. I think that victory, the game yesterday, is not going to increase my popularity or the way the fans are going to see us. What do you think of that? Surely had Chelsea won, it would have changed the way the fans see him and Chelsea.
I totally agree with you. Absolutely does. Because it gives you respite. It gives you a trophy on the board. And people will automatically think differently of you. Of course, you feel as if now that's the first trophy, you're on your way. And if defeat is exactly the opposite. So whatever view the fans have of you as a manager, that definitely changes when you win.
But Ten Hag won it last year. Has it changed much for him?
Oh, but there's been a lot of things. There's been a lot of water under the bridge since then. You know, I think that Manchester United probably felt with that great surge towards the end of the season, the winning the League Cup, the position in the Champions League, that things were really on the up.
Yeah.
But if we're talking in the immediacy now, this is it. You know, this would have changed the opinion of a lot of Chelsea fans.
Mm.
I think the unfairness of Manchester United is that you are challenged by a very different set of judgment calls, because you're not in the business. You're not supposed to be in the business at Man United of winning the League Cup. You're supposed to be in the business of winning the Premier League. So tragically, for anyone that steps into the dugout of Man United, you carry this huge spectre. It's a bit like Jacob Marley out of, Scrooge carrying all the ghosts and the souls of the past.
Yes.
He's got all these championships at Ferguson and this legacy of Manchester United. So it's a good question, because there was still the doubting Thomases, me being one, about the end game for Ten Hag. What he did was he quietened it down for 5 minutes by being able to point to trophies. But with Manchester United, it's a different standard. He will himself be talking about this. But what Pochettino's doing there is almost straight out of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer playbook. I mean, it's about being competitive. I mean, it's about winning. It's not about being competitive. You have to be competitive in everything in life.
And do you think he really knows that, but isn't saying it?
Well, I think, of course, he probably does. But it's. I mean, again, you have to give the benefit of the doubt to the language and the translation. This not being his first language, but he talks about Klopp. He talks about Klopp arriving at Liverpool as if he's not arrived at the right football club, if he's not been given the right tools. And I think it's weak. But I think this is probably the reasons why Pochettino is all fur coat and no knickers. He is a very good coach and will achieve you very good things, but he will not win you things. The only thing he's won is the French League, which was won previously by Lille.
Wow, that's strong though. That is strong, Simon. Is it fair, Martin? Is that fair? I know you're taking a sip of your coffee. I was going to go to the calls, but is it fair?
Well, you have to get back to winning. This is it, Jim. You're at a football club that is expecting to win, and I take Simon's point about Manchester United, that they're not really wildly interested in winning a League Cup. You are to begin with, and if that starts your career as a manager at that club, careers the one, your tenure at the club, well, it's a really great start. And this would be terrific if Chelsea had been able to have won this trophy, because it does change a mindset, change the mindset of players as well too.
Yeah, should Pochettino have been more on the front foot yesterday, both post and pre-match? You can give us your views on that. 03717 223344. I was working for the EFL yesterday, but I was still wearing my talkSPORT hat, and I was very, very fortunate to be mixing with some of the great and the good in the game at the end of the match. Martin, I think you'll enjoy this. So will you, Simon. I mean, when you look at it, some of the kids on show yesterday excelled for Liverpool. Kelleher, as you rightly say, Martin, was one of them in goal. Harvey Elliott, Connor Bradley, and then we saw a bit of Bobby Clark, Lewis Kumas, Jayden Danns, Trey Nyoni. And that was not lost on some of the great players from the past. First, Ian Rush, and next you'll hear from John Barnes. But first, Rush.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. When you see what the Chelsea players are there, paid so much for them, and you look at 5 or 6 youngsters in that Liverpool team, it was something special today, I think.
Is that the first of 4? Or I'm asking you too much?
Well, maybe asking a bit too much, but at the end of the day, once you win once, confidence gets stronger and stronger. And when you look at the team that played today, our main players were not playing today. So it just goes to show how good Jurgen is now, what he's doing with these youngsters. And they're coming on and they look just like normal top players.
I mean, towards the end, it could have gone either way, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think in the more than 90 minutes, Chelsea had the better chances, to tell you the truth. But at the end of the day, we kept playing on. And look at that support there. The support there was absolutely amazing. I just feel like them youngsters now, how they must be feeling now is something really, really special. It just goes to show how special Liverpool Football Club is.
Do you old fellas like Russian Dalglish, do you enjoy it?
Oh, we love it, yeah, that's what it's all about. You can't buy it, and that's what it's all about. It's something really special. What Jurgen Klopp has done is absolutely amazing. He's like, you talk about Bill Shankly, Bob Paisley, Kenny Dalglish. Jurgen's right up there with them as well.
John Barnes, Liverpool legend, what did you make of that today?
Incredible. The thing about Liverpool is that, of course, with the amount of players we had missing, and we thought of the substitutions we made and coming on, but all of them, this is what Liverpool have with the spirit and the determination. There was a scrambling out goal mounts at times, and Chelsea looked at could have scored a couple of goals. But with the team that we had out there today, full credit to them, because of course missing so many big players. Chelsea had probably their strongest team out. Rode our luck at times, but it was a fantastic performance, and that's the spirit that Jurgen has brought. No matter who plays, it could be a youth team, it could be a reserve team, it could be anybody, and they put in a proper spirited performance. It was sensational.
And you mentioned Jurgen. I mean, it's a tall order, John, but I mean, is that going to be the first of four?
Well, of course, there's a long way to go. What we do know is that they'll put in performances which would mean that coming the end of the season, I remember a couple of years ago when we could have won 4 and we'd end up winning 2 and people would have been disappointed. But if we go all the way to the wire, to the last knockings of the season, and we're in contention to win all 4, I'll be happy if we don't. Probably a tall order to win 4, but 1 down, 3 to go.
And is it lovely seeing these kids come through today, John? Does it make you feel really optimistic about the future?
Absolutely. When Jurgen announced he was going, last year we looked at Liverpool and the age and the profile of the players, the Jordan Hendersons, the James Milners, the Fabinhos, the Firminos, who were, 30, 31, 32. And we wondered what the future would look like. The players that he's brought in, not just the kids come through, but looking at the young players in Gakpo and Diaz's who've come through. So any manager coming into Liverpool now will come into a club full of players with humility, hunger, the right correct attitude. So a new manager's coming into a dream club, whoever it happens to be.
Whoever it happens to be, what a tall order he's got, John, following Klopp.
It is, because of course you wonder about, as we've seen in the past, when a new manager comes in, the reaction of the players to the new manager, having someone as iconic as Jurgen Klopp. But I know the character of these players, and they have the respect of the football club to give 100% to the new manager in the same way that they did to Jurgen.
Do you know who you'd like to see there?
I know who I would like to see, but I'm keeping it close to my chest.
And that was that. John Barnes knows who he would like to be in the Liverpool hot seat post-Klopp, but he's keeping it close to his chest. Have you got a notion, Martin, of who will be there?
No idea.
Who should they go for?
No idea.
To fit the profile post-Klopp?
Well, Jim, honestly, I'll plead the fifth in this one. I genuinely don't know. We discussed this earlier, about 15 minutes ago, talking about should they appoint from within. Simon made the point about the likes of Joe Fagg and people like this here, Bob Paisley coming after Bill Shankly had set up something, so it was easy to follow. And you also had the nucleus of a fantastic side throughout the 70s as well too. So this is a different proposition. Somebody from outside would probably, I'm sure that Liverpool will look to a quality manager from outside.
I mean, Tom Werner came and went yesterday, Simon, thrilled with what he saw, particularly with the youngsters. Will he and John W. and the rest know now who they are going for, and know that they're not going to stop until they get that
Possibly.
person?
I mean, ultimately, you would think that succession programming and thinking has been of their mindset since November. They've known this since November. The availability of other managers, the nature of the beast. You're taking somebody out. This Liverpool team, not club, team, is really shaped in the image of Jurgen Klopp. And he's managed to cross the Rubicon and make his relationship with the fans and represent the town of Liverpool. But the player, the playing style, the personality, the outlook, the disposition of the team is a direct reflection of the manager. It has charisma, it's feral, it's dynamic, it's energy. It's got all of the things that I like to see in football. That's why I like Klopp as a manager. Now, you're going to find great difficulty in replicating that because there is only one Jurgen Klopp. Not because I'm eulogising and putting him up on a pedestal, but there is only one. And his style is his style. So there's going to be a change. I think the strength of Liverpool is they've bought good players. They've got a good motivation inside the team. They've got a good outlook. You're seeing that by the young players come in, and we're all waxing lyrical about them. Whoever they get, it's a big appointment, because this is this moment in time where, like I used the example of the slip. They can't afford to slip now. They slipped when Steven Gerrard slipped on the pitch in 2014 and the league was lost. If they slip after Klopp, they can lose all of the platform they've built. I don't think they will. I think they'll make a sensible decision, whether that's Xavi Alonso. I don't think it'll be people like Thomas Tuchel. I think it'll be someone that galvanises the club. Thomas Tuchel's record will give you some respect, but he doesn't galvanise football clubs. He divides them. He creates division. You've seen it at PSG. You've seen it at Chelsea. You're now seeing it at Bayern Munich. So Liverpool are not looking for that. They're looking for someone to unite and not to divide, and to build upon the platform. Because I imagine Klopp will be wanting to see the team and the club that he rebuilt from the sort of the effect that Brendan Rodgers had in his last season, which was taking the club downwards after that good season in 13-14. And all that work will go to... And I don't think they'll make that mistake. There's too much money involved, too much thought process involved, and they've had time to think about it. And the only person that we will find out who is the right person is if Liverpool have done their job and their diligence to make sure that what they're bringing in matches what they've got.
Okay, well, how many more trophies will he land before he departs? Is the Magic 4 seriously on? You can give us a call on that, 03717 223344. And where does this, for you, if you're a Liverpool fan, where does this rank yesterday? When you saw the youngsters making you super proud on the pitch at Wembley, where does that rank if you followed Liverpool for years? 03717 223344. And Chelsea, don't quite know where to put you this morning. Did Chelsea choke, or are there green shoots for the owners to point to this morning? Will it get better? Is it bound to get better? Or did they choke yesterday, as is being suggested in some quarters? 03717 223344.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.